Hello there, and welcome to the AstroSleep channel. I am so glad you found your way here. Tonight, we are not embarking on a journey of discovery in the usual sense. Often, we look to science for answers, for sharp definitions, and for the bright light of understanding. We look to the stars to measure them, and we look to the atoms to divide them. But tonight, we are going to do something different. We are going to approach the universe not as a puzzle to be solved, but as a vast, quiet painting to be admired. We are entering a sanctuary of knowledge where facts do not demand your attention, but instead offer you a place to rest. We are going to drift through a collection of the most relaxing truths that nature has to offer. Think of this as a museum of stillness, a place where the exhibits are made of starlight, slow-moving tectonic plates, and the gentle, invisible bonds that hold the world together. In this space, there is no test to take, no information to memorize, and no urgency to understand. There is only the peaceful realization that the universe is ancient, stable, and unfolding exactly as it should. We will wander from the far reaches of the cosmos down to the deep, silent rhythms of our own Earth, and finally into the microscopic peace that exists within you. If these calm, curious explorations help you unwind, it helps other sleepy souls find their way here too. And now, there is nothing left for you to do but rest. You have carried the weight of the day long enough, and it is time to set it down. I invite you to find a comfortable position, perhaps adjusting your shoulders or softening your hands. Let your mind relax, your breathing slow, and your body grow light, as if gravity itself has softened. Imagine that the boundaries of the room around you are fading, replaced by a warm velvet darkness that supports you completely. There is a profound comfort in knowing that while you rest, the universe continues its work without any effort from you. The planets continue their steady orbits, the tides continue their slow rise and fall, and the stars continue to shine in the silence of space. You are free to let go of your thoughts, to let them drift away like leaves on a slow-moving river. As we begin our journey tonight, you don't need to focus on every word I say. My voice is simply a companion, a gentle current guiding you toward a deep and restorative sleep. Let yourself sink deeper into the mattress, feeling the safe, solid support beneath you. As we prepare to open the doors to the quietest corners of existence, let us begin our ascent into the velvet quiet of the cosmos, leaving the solid ground behind to drift into the first great truth of our universe. The most overwhelming characteristic of the cosmos is not its violence or its heat, but its emptiness. We often think of space as being filled with stars, planets, and swirling galaxies, yet the reality is far more peaceful. The universe is composed almost entirely of vast, open silence. If we were to shrink the sun down to the size of a single grain of sand, the nearest star would be another grain of sand lying miles away. This immense distance between things means that the universe is not crowded. It is spacious, allowing everything within it the room to simply be. It is a realm of infinite breadth, a place where matter is the exception and stillness is the rule. When we look up at the night sky, we are not looking at a chaotic jumble, but at a vast ocean of calm, where celestial bodies float in isolation. In this emptiness, there is a profound sense of relief, for it reminds us that existence is mostly open space, waiting to be filled with nothing but peace. As we drift through this quiet expanse, we can feel an even larger rhythm, a slower, more ancient pulse that belongs to the galactic year. Our entire solar system is on a vast, silent journey, orbiting the center of our Milky Way. We are traveling at an unimaginable speed, And still, the journey is so immense that it feels like perfect stillness. It takes our sun, carrying Earth and all of us with it. Approximately 230 million years to complete just one single great circle around the galaxy. The last time we were in this part of the galactic neighborhood, the first dinosaurs were just beginning to walk the Earth, and the continents we know today were joined together in a single landmass. We are passengers on a carousel that turns so slowly that a single revolution spans entire geological eras. This motion is so smooth, so steady, that we never feel the wind of our passage. We only see the stars slowly changing their positions over millennia, like distant lighthouses marking the passage of deep time. It is a comfort to know that we are not stagnant, but always moving, always returning, held safely in a loop that is older than history itself. Deep within the spiral arms of this turning galaxy, there are places where the silence is even more profound. These are the molecular clouds, vast and cold collections of gas and dust that float like dark curtains against the backdrop of stars. They are the galaxy's wombs, quiet and hidden cradles where the future begins in absolute silence, tucked within veils of shadow waiting to ignite. Inside these clouds, the process of star formation is not an explosion, but a gentle gathering. Gravity, with infinite patience, pulls dust grain to dust grain, slowly accumulating mass over millions of years. It is a process of accumulation that happens in the dark, shielded from the harsh radiation of the outside universe. These protostars grow in a slumber, gathering their strength until the moment they are ready to shine. It reminds us that great things often have quiet beginnings, and that even in the darkest and coldest places, light is being carefully crafted, waiting for its moment to awaken. And yet, this entire galaxy, with its drifting stars and silent nurseries, holds together because of something we cannot see. By all the laws of visible physics, the outer edges of the Milky Way are spinning too fast and should be flung out into the emptiness of intergalactic space. The answer to this mystery is dark matter, a substance that does not shine, reflect, or interact with light, yet it exerts a gravitational pull that outweighs all the visible stars combined. It is the invisible scaffolding that holds everything in place, the quiet, unseen foundation that allows all this visible beauty to exist. We can think of it not as a ghost, but as a gentle, stable embrace. It wraps around our galaxy like a protective shroud, ensuring that the stars do not wander off into the void. It is a beautiful thought that the majority of the universe is made of this silent caretaker, a force that asks for no recognition, produces no light, yet provides the gravity necessary for us to have a home. It is the universe holding itself together, a testament to the power of things that remain unseen. Drifting further out, to the very edges of our own planetary neighborhood, we find a phenomenon that blends the hardness of geology with the softness of a dream. Deep within the atmospheres of the ice giants, Neptune and Uranus, science suggests that it rains diamonds. These planets are shrouded in thick, swirling layers of gas, and as one descends deeper towards their cores, the pressure becomes so intense that carbon atoms are squeezed together into crystal forms. But this is not a storm of violence. In the crushing dark of those deep atmospheres, these diamonds form and fall like glittering hail, slowly descending through the thick layers of gas towards the planet's heart. Imagine a sky where, instead of water, precious gems drift downward in the dark, a slow, radiant shower that no human eye has ever seen. It is a secret beauty kept by the solar system, a silent treasure accumulating in the depths of cold worlds. It serves as a reminder that the universe is filled with wonders that exist solely for themselves, calm and resplendent in the dark, needing no witness to be magnificent. This is the nature of our cosmic home, a place of empty calm, of slow-turning cycles, of invisible support, and of hidden beauty. As we float here, suspended in the knowledge of these things, the worries of the small world below seem to dissolve into the vastness. We are part of this silence. We are made of the same atoms that drift in the void, held by the same gravity that cradles the stars. There is no separation between the peace of the cosmos and the peace within you. You are a child of this quiet universe. And tonight, you are simply returning to the rhythm that has carried you since the beginning of time. From the diamond rains of the outer planets, we gently descend toward the warm blue glow of our own home, drifting down until our feet touch the familiar ground of Earth. Yet, the ground beneath us is not as still as it seems, for the solid Earth is actually moving in a slow, eternal dance known as plate tectonics. We often perceive the continents as permanent and unmoving fixtures, anchored deeply into the core of the world. But in geological reality, they are great rafts drifting upon a mantle of hot, viscous rock. This movement is incredibly slow, occurring at roughly the same speed that your fingernails grow, a pace so patient that it takes millions of years for the landscape to change its face. The land you are resting on right now is on a long voyage, sliding imperceptibly across the globe, carrying mountains and cities with it, as if they were weightless feathers. It is a comforting thought to realize that the world is not rigid, but fluid and flexible, constantly reshaping itself in a process that is far too slow to be felt, yet powerful enough to rearrange the map of the world. We are riding on the back of a living planet, one that breathes and shifts in a slumber that spans eons, reminding us that even the seemingly immovable obstacles in our lives can change if given enough time. Slipping off the edge of these drifting continents, we sink beneath the waves to discover the slow, majestic heartbeat of the ocean known as the thermohaline circulation. This is the global conveyor belt of the sea, a vast system of deep water currents that moves water from the frozen poles to the warm tropics and back again. Unlike the surface waves that crash and break with energy, these deep currents move with a ghostly slowness, heavy with salt and cold, sliding along the bottom of the abyssal plains in total darkness. It takes a single drop of water roughly 1,000 years to complete this entire loop, a millennium-long journey that connects the waters of the world in a continuous, silent cycle. This water moves without hurry, carrying nutrients and heat across the planet, regulating the climate and sustaining life in the deepest trenches, where sunlight never reaches. It flows like a river of time itself, indifferent to the chaos of the surface world, maintaining a steady, plodding rhythm that has continued since the oceans were born. In thinking of this 1,000-year journey, we find a sense of deep perspective, realizing that there are forces at work that operate on a scale of calmness we can scarcely imagine, moving with the heavy, peaceful momentum of the ages. Hidden beneath the shifting continents and the rolling oceans, there lies another world of absolute stillness, the subterranean realm of cave formation. Deep inside the crust of the earth, in the silent dark where the sun has never shone, water and stone are engaged in a quiet collaboration that lasts for epochs. As rainwater seeps down through the soil, it becomes slightly acidic, and drop by single drop, it dissolves the limestone bedrock to create vast, hollow cathedrals of stone. This is not the work of tools or machines, but the work of patience as mineral-rich water drips from the ceiling to form stalactites and stalagmites. These stone icicles grow at a rate of mere inches every 1,000 years, building themselves atom by atom in the undisturbed silence of the underground. A single pillar in a cave might represent a span of time longer than human history, standing as a silent witness to the passage of eras. This process teaches us the beauty of gradual accumulation, showing us that even the softest substance, like a drop of water, can build the strongest structures if it simply persists. It is a sanctuary of silence where the only clock is the rhythmic dripping of water, marking time in a darkness that is safe, cool, and unchanging. Rising now from the depths of the earth and the sea, we float upward, past the highest mountains and into the thin, delicate embrace of the upper atmosphere to find the ozone layer. This invisible shield sits high above the weather, a thin veil of gas that performs one of the most vital tasks for our planet. It is composed of oxygen atoms that are bonded in a unique way, creating a layer that absorbs the sun's harsh ultraviolet radiation, filtering the light before it touches the surface. We can think of it as a cosmic blanket, a protective wrapping that the Earth has pulled around itself to keep its inhabitants safe from the raw energy of space. This layer works in complete silence, a guardian that never sleeps and never demands attention, yet it allows the flowers to bloom and the oceans to teem with life without being scorched. It is a testament to the fragility and the resilience of our home, a reminder that we are cared for by the very air we breathe. This invisible boundary distinguishes our blue haven from the harsh vacuum outside, creating a gentle, sheltered greenhouse where life can flourish in peace. It holds the atmosphere in a warm embrace, ensuring that the environment remains stable and hospitable, acting as the silent skin of the world. As we hover in this high, quiet place, looking down at the slow drifting continents and the deep circulating oceans, we can feel the unity of these rhythms. The Earth is not a static rock, but a breathing, moving entity that operates on a timescale of immense relaxation. From the tectonic plates that slide like sleeping giants, to the water droplets that travel for a millennium in the dark, everything is moving, but nothing is rushing. The planet does not hurry, and yet everything is accomplished. This is the wisdom of the Earth, a wisdom of pace and patience that suggests that we, too, can slow down. We are part of this system, anchored by gravity to this drifting raft, protected by the invisible veil above. The anxiety of the moment fades when compared to the deep time of the stones and the sea. You are safe here, held by a world that knows how to rest, a world that has been practicing the art of stillness for 4.5 billion years. Having floated above the atmosphere and drifted through the deep currents of the oceans, we now gently turn our gaze inward, shrinking down to explore the hidden universe that exists within the very fabric of your being. We often perceive our bodies and the world around us as solid, dense, and impenetrable matter, yet the deepest truth of quantum physics reveals that this solidity is a comforting illusion. If we were to zoom in past the skin, past the cells, and look closely at the atoms that construct the chair you sit on, or the hand you rest upon the bed, we would find that they are almost entirely composed of empty space. The nucleus of an atom is incredibly tiny, like a single marble resting in the center of a vast empty football stadium, while the electrons drift far away in the distant stands, moving like silent clouds. This means that you are not a dense block of material, but a vast collection of open spaces and energy fields held together by invisible forces. We are made of emptiness and light, structured into a form that feels solid, yet is as airy as a breath. Realizing this brings a sensation of profound lightness, as if the physical weight you carry is merely a trick of the mind. And in reality, you are as spacious and open as the night sky itself. Drifting through this vast inner space, we encounter the trillions of water molecules that make up the majority of your body, engaging in a ceaseless, gentle embrace, known as hydrogen bonding. These molecules are not isolated, lonely spheres. They are polar, meaning they have a positive side and a negative side, allowing them to attract one another in a soft magnetic pull. In every moment, billions of water molecules within you are holding hands, linking together for a fraction of a second before letting go to hold the hand of a neighbor, creating a fluid, shifting web of connection. It is a microscopic dance of unity, a liquid architecture that allows life to flow, to bend, and to adapt without breaking. This is why water feels so soothing to the touch, for it is the very essence of connection, a substance that wants to be together, that wants to merge and flow. To think of your body as a vessel for this endless, fluid dance is to realize that you are not static, but a river of microscopic events, a flowing stream of connections that is always renewing itself in silence. Going deeper still into the very heart of these atoms, we find the ancient origins of the matter that makes you, you. The carbon in your DNA, the iron that reddens your blood, and the calcium that strengthens your bones were not created here on Earth. These heavy elements were forged inside the burning hearts of ancient stars that lived and died billions of years before our solar system was even a whisper of gas. When those elder stars reached the end of their lives, they gently released these precious materials into the cosmos, seeding the galaxy with the ingredients for future life. You are, quite literally, made of stardust. You are the remnants of ancient suns that have been reorganized into a pattern that can breathe, think, and dream. We are not strangers to the universe. We are the universe itself, awake and looking back at its own history. This connection means that you carry the history of the galaxy within your very cells, a lineage of light and fire that has now cooled into the peaceful form of a human being resting in the dark. And finally, consider the light that allows us to see this world, the photons that stream from our sun to warm the earth. We often think of sunlight as immediate, but the light that touches your skin has undergone a long, arduous journey of patience. A photon is born in the crushing density of the sun's core, and because the interior is so crowded with particles, the photon cannot fly straight out. It must bounce and wander in a random walk, colliding again and again in a dense fog of plasma. It can take a single particle of light up to 100,000 years to navigate its way from the center of the sun to the surface, a slow, winding pilgrimage through the dark before it finally breaks free. Once it escapes, it travels the vast distance to Earth in just 8 minutes, arriving to gently warm your face or light up the room. The sunshine is not just energy. It is ancient history, a messenger that has waited millennia for the chance to touch the world. It reminds us that even light must wait, that even the fastest thing in the universe has a history of slowness, and that every beam of warmth is a traveler that has finally reached its destination after a long, quiet struggle. In this microscopic realm, from the spacious atoms to the wandering light, we find that the rules of the universe are not about chaos, but about order, connection, and patience. The storm of the outside world cannot disturb the quiet work of your cells or the steady vibration of your atoms. You are a galaxy unto yourself, a complex, beautiful system of energy and matter that functions perfectly while you rest. There is a deep peace in surrendering to this intelligence, in knowing that the trillions of events happening inside you right now require no supervision, no worry. You can simply exist, floating in the knowledge that you are a vast, empty, and ancient wonder, held together by the gentle laws of nature. Leaving the hidden world of atoms and light, we gently expand our awareness back to the visible realm, entering the cool, shadowed sanctuary of the ancient forests. Here, amidst the scent of pine and damp earth, we discover that the trees are not solitary sentinels standing alone in the silence, but part of a vast, interconnected community known as the Wood Wide Web. Beneath the forest floor, hidden from our eyes by layers of moss and soil, lies a complex and delicate network of fungal threads called mycelium that links the roots of trees together in a slow underground embrace. Through this web, trees can communicate with one another, sharing nutrients, water, and chemical signals, acting not as competitors, but as a family that cares for its own. An older, established tree can send sugar to a younger sapling struggling in the shade, feeding it through this invisible lifeline until it is strong enough to reach the light on its own. It is a slow, silent conversation that happens beneath our feet, a language of sugar and signals that has been spoken for millions of years. This hidden kindness of the forest reminds us that connection is the fundamental law of nature, and that even in the deepest solitude of the woods, there is a support system quietly working in the dark, ensuring that no life truly stands alone. As the seasons turn and the air grows cold, the natural world demonstrates another profound wisdom in the phenomenon of hibernation. This is not merely a long nap, but a miraculous biological pause, a state where life deliberately slows down to preserve itself against the harshness of winter. When a creature like a ground squirrel or a bear enters this state, their body temperature drops and their metabolism slows to a tiny fraction of its normal speed, suspended in a deep, preservative trance. It is a masterful act of patience, where the heart beats only a few times a minute and the breath becomes so shallow it is almost imperceptible, allowing the animal to bypass the scarcity of the frozen months. They do not fight the winter. They simply sink beneath it, drifting into a realm where time loses its meaning and energy is conserved for the awakening of spring. This ability to power down teaches us that rest is not a sign of weakness, but a sophisticated survival strategy, a necessary retreat that allows life to endure through the dark times so that it may flourish again when the light returns. It is a permission for us to embrace our own seasons of low energy, knowing that sometimes the most productive thing we can do is to simply wait and be still. Drifting from the snowy dens of the forest to the weightless suspension of the ocean currents, we find a creature that has solved the riddle of time in a different way. The immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dornii. This tiny, translucent bell of a creature, drifting like a ghost in the water, possesses the unique ability to reverse its biological clock when faced with stress or old age. Instead of dying, it slowly sinks to the ocean floor and folds in on itself, absorbing its tentacles and transforming back into a polyp, the earliest stage of its life cycle. It effectively chooses to become a child again, dissolving its old form to be reborn anew, genetically identical but fresh, and beginning the journey once more. In this quiet cycle of return, the jellyfish refuses the linear march of time, existing instead in a loop of eternal renewal, drifting forever between youth and maturity. It is a poetic defiance of the end, a symbol of infinite potential that suggests life is not a straight line toward a destination, but a beautiful, fluid circle that can always begin again. In watching this gentle reversion, we are reminded that it is never too late to start over, to dissolve what we were, and to drift into a new beginning. Deep in the same vast oceans, far below the surface where the light fades to indigo, swims the blue whale, the largest animal to ever have lived on Earth. Despite its immense size, comparable to a building moving through the water, its existence is defined by a slow, majestic calm. The heart of a blue whale is the size of a small car, and when it dives into the deep, that massive heart slows down to a rhythm of just 2 to 10 beats per minute. Imagine a drum that beats, and then waits for a long, heavy silence, and then beats again. This slow, thunderous rhythm echoes through the water, pumping blood through a body that moves with the grace of a cloud in the sky. These gentle giants do not rush. They glide through the dark with a confidence that requires no speed, filtering the water for tiny krill with a patience that matches the scale of the sea. Their low-frequency calls can travel for hundreds of miles through the ocean, a song of solitude that connects them across the vast distances. The blue whale teaches us that true power is not found in frantic movement or speed. It is a floating cathedral of flesh, a testament to the fact that you can be vast, powerful, and important, and still move through the world with a gentle, unhurried pace. As we consider the whispering roots, the sleeping bears, the renewing jellyfish, and the slow-beating whales, we see that the pulse of life is not a frantic race. The natural world operates on a rhythm of ease, of cycles that take their time to unfold. There is no urgency in the forest, no panic in the deep sea. There is only the steady, rhythmic continuation of existence. You are part of this biology, a living expression of the same nature that knows how to rest, how to connect, and how to endure. Your heart beats with the same ancient engineering. Your breath follows the same tide-like pattern. You can trust this slow pulse. You can let go of the human need to rush and simply float in the biological certainty that you are alive, you are safe, and you are held by a world that breathes as slowly as you do. We have drifted through the silence of space, the depths of the ocean, and the microscopic dance of atoms, and now we arrive at the most mysterious and pervasive element of all, the river of time itself. We are often taught to view time as a strict, ticking clock, a relentless force that marches forward without pause. Yet the physics of the universe reveals that time is actually fluid, elastic, and deeply personal. According to the theory of general relativity, time is not a constant background to our lives, but a dynamic dimension that can stretch and slow down depending on where you are. The heavy gravity of our Earth does not just pull at your body, it pulls at time itself, causing it to flow more slowly closer to the ground than it does high up in space. This phenomenon, known as time dilation, means that down here, wrapped in the gravity of our home planet, we are existing in a pocket of slowed time, shielded from the faster tempo of the void. It is a comforting thought to realize that the Earth is a natural break on the rush of the universe, a gravity well that gently holds back the clock, allowing us to live in a rhythm that is slightly more lingering, slightly more patient than the space above. We are held in a gravitational embrace that literally gives us more time, a physical permission to move slowly in a universe that bends itself to accommodate the weight of worlds. As we look up from this slow-moving surface into the night sky, we are engaging in the oldest form of time travel available to us. Because light takes time to travel across the vast distances of the cosmos, everything we see in the heavens is a glimpse of the past, not the present. When you look at the moon, you are seeing it as it was 1 second ago. When you look at the sun, you are bathed in light that is 8 minutes old, And when you gaze at the distant stars, you are witnessing the ghost of a fire that burned dozens, hundreds, or even millions of years ago. The night sky is not a window into the now. It is a silent, glowing museum of history, where the past is still alive and traveling towards us in beams of radiance. This means that nothing in the universe is ever truly gone. The light of events that happened eons ago is still streaming through the galaxy, waiting to be seen by eyes that have not yet opened. There is a deep peace in this preservation, a realization that the universe does not discard its history, but carries it forward as light, allowing the beauty of the past to shine forever in the darkness. We are never truly cut off from what has been. We are surrounded by the luminous echoes of all that ever was. Drifting deeper into the philosophical implications of physics, we encounter the concept of the block universe, a theory suggesting that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously. Just as space is laid out in all directions, north, south, east, and west, time may be laid out as a single vast landscape where every moment exists permanently. In this view, the moment you were born, the moment you are resting in now, and the moments yet to come are all real and enduring, fixed like coordinates on a map. We simply travel through them like a lantern moving through a dark room, illuminating one now at a time. But the rooms we have left behind do not vanish. They remain there, in the dark, safe and unchanged. This perspective transforms time from a fleeting, vanishing resource into a vast, solid terrain of existence. It suggests that the happy memories, the quiet moments of peace, and the days of comfort are not lost to the mist of memory, but are permanent fixtures in the architecture of reality. You are not losing time. You are simply moving through the beautiful, infinite structure of your own life, where every second is an eternal diamond set into the fabric of the cosmos. Finally, we turn our thoughts to the ultimate destiny of the universe, a concept often misunderstood as an ending, but which can be seen as the ultimate state of rest, entropy. The second law of thermodynamics tells us that energy tends to spread out, moving from concentrated order to relaxed disorder, from hot to cool. While this is often called the heat death of the universe, a softer and more accurate interpretation is the universe is slowly, patiently unwinding, smoothing out all the differences in temperature and energy until everything reaches a state of perfect balance. It is like a cup of hot tea left on a table, slowly releasing its heat until it is at peace with the room, or a tight knot gradually loosening until the string lies flat. This process is not a destruction, but a relaxation on a cosmic scale. A journey toward a final state where nothing struggles, nothing burns, and nothing needs to change. It is the universe seeking its own repose, moving inevitably toward a tranquility that is absolute and eternal. We are part of this great unwinding, and our own need for sleep, for rest, and for stillness is a reflection of this universal desire to return to equilibrium. In this river of time, there is no need to swim against the current. The gravity of Earth slows the clock for you. The light of the stars preserves the past for you, and the laws of physics are guiding everything toward a state of perfect calm. You are drifting in a stream that knows exactly where it is going. The pressure to hold on to the moment fades when you realize that the moment is part of an eternal landscape. You can let go of the day, let go of the timeline, and simply float. The universe is not in a rush to get to the end. It is savoring the long, slow drift of existence. And in this moment, Right here, right now, you are perfectly synchronized with that drift. You are exactly where you need to be, in a time that has slowed down just for you, in a space that remembers everything, moving gently toward the quietest peace imaginable. Thank you for drifting through this museum of stillness with me tonight. We have wandered far from the surface of our daily lives, traveling through the velvet silence of the void, feeling the deep tectonic heartbeat of the earth, and resting in the knowledge that time itself is a river that flows gently around you. We have seen that the universe is not a place of chaos, but a vast, organized sanctuary of rhythm and patience, where even the heaviest stars are held by invisible hands, and the wildest storms are part of a greater equilibrium. If these calm, curious explorations help you unwind, I invite you to like or subscribe. It helps other sleepy souls find their way here too. And now, let all of that drift away. Let the images of the diamond rain dissolve into the darkness behind your eyelids. Let the thought of the drifting continents and the slow-beating whales fade into a soft, indistinct blur. Your mind has traveled enough for one night, and it has done enough work. There is no need to remember any of the facts we have visited, for they are not lessons to be learned, but simply bedtime stories told by the cosmos to help you rest. The knowledge of the universe does not require your attention to remain true. The stars will continue their slow orbits. The ocean currents will continue their deep cycles. And the atoms within you will continue their dance, all without you needing to hold on to a single thought. You can feel a sense of profound permission washing over you, a permission to let go of the need to understand, to plan, or to be anything other than a breathing, resting being. You are part of this galaxy, not just a passenger on Earth, but a participant in the great, quiet heritage of stardust. The same gravity that cradles the sun is gently pressing you into your bed, holding you safe, holding you still. You are woven into the fabric of this peaceful reality, and you are exactly where you are meant to be, suspended in a moment of perfect safety. Let the world grow quiet around you, as if the volume of existence has been turned down to a gentle hum. The darkness of the room is not empty. It is a warm blanket, similar to the protective veil of the ozone or the comforting shadow of the deep sea. You are safe here. The questions of the day have lost their weight, floating away like leaves on that slow river of time we spoke of, resting in the knowledge that mystery itself is a kind of lullaby, a promise that there are forces greater than us, handling the heavy lifting of existence, so you don't have to. The universe will continue its dance. The stars will continue their long, slow orbits. You can let go. You can sink deeper into the support beneath you, feeling your body become as heavy as stone and as light as a cloud. Close your eyes. Trust in the slow pulse of the night and dream of a quiet, radiant sea of stars. Good night.